Right. Hello everybody. You join the old legend, doing a bit of winter drilling. I'm in a 50-acre field and I just finished doing the headland. I've got my weaving 8 metre on the back, and I've done a gorse bit down this side. I've got, you know, I've got a bit more to do yet, but no, it's a lovely long field. This field's about, must be close on to a mile long, so yeah, good long strikes, which is good. It's contract for a gentleman, and I've just got, hang on, just set this. Right, that's right. Yeah, I'm just setting up my tram lines, pre-emerge markers, so tram lines. So. Yep. It's going very well, to be honest with you. It's well, it's going extremely well. What we did was because obviously the wet, it's wet underneath. You can soon pull the wet up from underneath, but what we've done is really shallow with the power harrow, knock the top off the ploughing, and my drill is doing most of the work, to be honest with you, because I've got the weaving 8 metre tine drill, just a standard tine drill. It's not tiger tooth or whatever they call it, or any direct there. It is just a standard 8 metre weaving, and it's going in a tree. You know, we're not disturbing the wet underneath. We've just knocked the top off, and it's, as you can see, it's quite light ground. It does go a little bit heavy and a little bit light because we've got a dip here, and obviously the water sits in a dip, but we're still getting on all right, to be honest. We're pulling at 12 kilometres, 7.3 mile an hour, and yeah, we're romping along. She needs a little bit more fuel. There we go. She runs nice at around about 1950, you know. Pulls nice, runs nice, and doesn't make her work too hard. We're just pulling up out the dip now, so it does tend to make her howl a bit as we're coming out of this dip. I'm trying to keep the scrabbling down to a minimum, so we don't pull bloody great ruts in it. It's working quite well. Most of my neighbours are chucking nitrogen on, so I probably should be doing that, but can't do everything. I've got the power harrow in the other field. I've got 50 acres here to do, and then 25 acres the other side of the ditch in 2 pieces. Still getting me eye in a minute, you would see. But no, he rang me up. He said it's pretty dry in my field. Can you come and have a go? So I'm really pleased we came and had a go, because it's running out nice, and he's getting his crop in the ground. It's winter wheat, it's Keris. We're putting in Keris. It's plenty late enough for any winter wheat, to be honest with you, but you got to give it a go, ain't you? But as you can see to the left, it's looking really peachy. So It's better than the seed sitting in the barn and the ground going fallow. He was thinking about putting spring barley in. I've been warned off of putting spring barley in because everybody's putting spring barley in. Frontier tell me they've sold 3 times as much spring barley to replace the winter wheat as previous years. So there's going to be a glut of spring barley. And they reckon the price is going to be pretty poor on spring barley. So putting the wheat in's one way, spring peas or spring wheat's the other way. Well, I'm gone 60 acres of spring peas and 160 acres of spring wheat for my last 200. So that'll be spring crop this year. Didn't plan to, and I have got about 8 acres of winter wheat left in the barn, which will have to sit there till next autumn. I will just have to put it on, just up the rate a bit. So yeah, I was gonna put 60 acres of winter beans in, but in my top left and top right field, which are semi-heavy, so you really don't want to be going on semi-heavy land. Well, it was too wet, to be honest. So I've put them in a 70-acre field of light ground, and I'm going to replace them with spring peas. Yeah, we're busily doing things. Yeah, busily getting on with the job. There's a few people drilling. A couple of people I know drilled last week, and it absolutely looks awful. There are bloody clods everywhere, and in my view they should have left it alone till this week, because they used a heavy tine to pull it up a couple of weeks ago, hoping that would help it dry if there was a bit of frost. Well, we haven't had no frost, and it just left it all cloddy. So they've gone in anyway and drilled it anyhow, but it doesn't look good. There you go. I've got a little bit of a kickback on this thing, I'll sort that out. But no, yeah, everybody's in the field sowing their seeds. We cleaned the cattle out at the start of the week, which was good, got them cleaned out. Got the calves shed off the last year's calves, they're all took away from the cows now. And next week we've got a pen bully up because we're ready to start calving. Fixed all the cow cams so that we can see what we're doing. And we're finally getting somewhere. Don't know where there is, but we can work on that. It's making a howl coming up out that dip. But no, I'm hoping to start stripping out my car next week, my Land Rover Discovery. She broke the timing belt and destroyed her engine, so I've found another engine, so we're going to do it ourselves. We've decided, keep the cost down, and no spare cash for anything at the minute. So yeah, so we're just getting on with the job. As you can see, it's quite a long old field, but it's a nice field to drill. You soon pack it away. It's got a triangle on either side, but I do like combining it as well, to be honest. No, we're rattling along. There's a few wet spots. There are a few wet spots in it, but because we haven't overdone the primary tillage, we just ploughed it and tickled the top off, and I'm relying on the drill to level it off a bit. The drill is pulling me about a bit, so it is quite difficult to keep a straight run on it. So I think as long as that's drilled quite, you know, well, and you got your seed in the ground, that's about all you can expect. If you want straight lines, I don't think that's a possibility without doing deeper secondary cultivations. But I don't want to be pulling that mud up. As you can see, it's drilling beautiful at the minute. I've got no complaints. And my customers, yeah, like a cat with two tails. Because his is going in beautiful and his neighbours is a bit of a mess. I did go through, I went to Frontiers Neroso. They do each year a course for Neroso. You get 10 points for your sprayer licence. I went to that and they're reckoning only 40% has been drilled of the winter wheat. 60% is not in the ground, but I think, to be quite honest with you, there's going to be a bit more in the ground these next couple of days, because we have got some seriously nice weather. So I think as long as we keep that power hour just tickling the top off, that's the best way to go. If we go in, we've got pigtail tine. If we go in with that, we're just going to pull the shit up, and that's going to be as lumpy as hell. Going to stick to bloody everything. Just knocking the top off, and then drilling through the power hour and into the wet ploughing underneath. That's, to be honest with you, is working very well. I've done quite a big headland on this end because it's pretty wet along that side, so I'm turning early. Well, I'll turn you around so you can have a look around this way a bit. But no, it is a bit warm in here because my air conditioning's not working, so it's like sitting in a sauna. I might have to take my t-shirt off in a minute, but don't worry, I'll turn the camera off before I do that. I don't want to scar you young pups. You don't want to see me with no shirt on. No, we were Jason's lambing at the moment, so he's back at the farm and he's doing some cattle work, loading the lorries and keeping an eye on his sheep. Jack's on the power hour in the other field on the 7270. Jophan's with Jack, trying to learn something. So yeah, we're busy burning some diesel. So I filled my tanks up the other day, so we got a little bit to burn. But it is nice to be getting this this block of drilling done. I've got just over 100 acres to do today, so hopefully we can achieve that, as long as the going don't get tough. He has got a couple of other fields to do, but we levelled them down a little while ago and that bugger went and rained on it, so there's one I could do, but he wants to spray it for blackgrass. So he's getting that sprayed either this evening or tomorrow. And if it don't rain Saturday, we'll go in and sort that out on Saturday. Well, there's one, I don't know what's gone wrong with it. I think it wants flat lifting and perhaps subsoiling. That one just is not drying. The water's just laying there. Flaming pain in the butt it is. You get to see where your drainage is needs some attention with weather like this. There's a bit of a wet belt, heavier belt on this hill here. I'm hoping it isn't going to give me too much grief. We shall see. I'm on it now. Making a bark. Bugger, it's warm in here. Go on, girl, over the top. There you go. Growling like a big old poodie cat. Yeah. I've just put another ton of seed in. I'm only putting a ton in at a time. So that's 3 ton I've put in this morning, and I'm running at 2 ton 131. I've got almost a ton in here yet to drill, or I need to refill. She does soon eat it up, I must admit, because obviously nice long runs, 8 metres. Should take just over 8 ton to do this field, or 8,000 kilograms. I'm doing it on at 190 per hectare if you want to get sort of European.